Interesting. Longfellow Mountain Heritage Trail. Is that the official name or your official name, or where's that come from?
Well, that is the official name, and it's these mountains in this section of western Maine are known as the Longfellow Mountains, and the trails that we anticipate connecting into Maine Hudson trails are heritage trails. They're basically going to recognize the history and the culture of the region, and we want interpretive panels to proliferate along those trails. So after we started the concept, I reached out to the landowners to see if they would be receptive to this proposal. Shortly after doing that, the Arnold Expedition Historical Society reached out to Roy Van Fleck, who owns Coben Gore, and asked if he'd be willing to sell some land for an historical preserve to monument the activities of the Arnold Expedition. So Roy asked the Arnold Expedition Historical Society to call me and to see if these projects were compatible. I met at the time with Duluth Wing, Steve Clark, and Jay Robbins from Arnold Expedition, and we quickly concluded that they should be compatible. And I asked them where they were going to get the money to acquire the lands, and they were looking for some suggestions. So I contacted the Trust for Public Land, which had just completed the negotiations on the purchase of Crocker,
Right.
and the Orbiton stream parcel, which
Right.
has the ribbon cutting tomorrow.
Right.
And Wolf Tone from TPL indicated that they would love to get involved. That's what they do. So Wolf and Deano Circo from Trust for Public Lands have been working with myself and the Arnold Expedition Group and with the landowners to carve out what opportunities we think there may be, and to assist in developing the fundraising campaign that will be necessary. While this was going on, Senator King, Angus King, a local sugar loafer, became a co-sponsor of legislation that would allow the National Park Service to participate in the creation of Revolutionary War and War of 1812 monuments, in addition to Civil War sites. And during our last congressional budget process, approximately $70 million was allocated by Congress for the establishment of Revolutionary War sites. With that, we've reached out to the Penobscot Indian Nation, because the route that Benedict Arnold took up through the Carrying Place and up into Quebec, for the most part, were traditional Native American portage trails and canoe trails. So we've been talking with Kirk Francis, the chief of the Penobscot Indian Nation, and John Banks, who's their natural resource director, about working with us and incorporating the Native American history as part of this endeavor as well. And they're enthusiastic about it. So I think it points for a promising future, and we hope that we can partner with them to open up opportunities for federal funding for them. Possibly they could be the landholder in much of this, and we could work with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, with the Penobscot Nation, with Maine Historic Preservation, and with the communities, in really creating something that not only has great recreational value, but great historic and educational value as well. And I think, as you know about New Zealand, it's the recognition of the importance and the significance of these has to start at the local area. Right. And once the community and the children and the parents know what it's about, its appreciation grows much faster and much stronger with guests and tourists to the region.
Right. One of the reasons why we wanted you to come on was because I think there is not a lot of local awareness of this developing project, and it could have a huge economic impact for us as well as our neighbors to the north if it links us in the international loop, which they already have half in place up there. And like you say, the New Zealand model is so inspiring when you see what they do with such a small island nation in the middle of nowhere. They really know how to do it right. So there are ways to do it, and I wish us all really good and prudent and efficient success in the next, because one thing to figure out how to do it, another thing to figure out how to get the money to do it, but the bigger thing is to get all the players to play together. So let's hope for a little bit of serendipity at this point in time. Eh?
It looks promising. You know, right now, with the expansion of the wind industry in Maine, you got Kibbe that was developed by TransCanada. Now, First Wind has been purchased by SunEdison. Somerset County just passed a $17.5 million tax increment financing and tangible benefit agreement on the project in Mayfield Township. The county commissioners in Franklin are re-exploring the opportunities with Kibbe to see if they might be able to go back and capture more of that for local economic development here. John Cleveland from Auburn has been hired by the county, and we had a public hearing at the Sugarloaf Inn 2 weeks ago, inviting all of the nonprofits and the organizations that may be interested in working on that project to do so. There are more wind projects, you know, coming up in Somerset County, and transmission corridors that we're aware of, basically to connect Hydro-Quebec into the New England grid. All of these projects have significant opportunity for tax increment financing, for credit enhancement arrangements, for tangible benefit agreements, that really could foster in the development and the promotion of a lot of this activity.
And you're looking at more TIF funds available.
That's right.
All right.
And you know, we'll have to reach out to Maine's philanthropic communities as well, and work with coastal enterprises and the local banks, and put together a regional plan. We're going to need support from the communities. We're going to need support from the county. But this window of opportunity that we have, we don't know how long it's going to be there, and grab it while you can, and we can build it after we've acquired it. So
cool. Well, like I said, good luck to us all.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing what is going on with all of our viewers, and hopefully this has helped raise some awareness, and hopefully we can raise some funds too, because that's what we need to keep it going.
Well, thanks, Nadine.